Unending pain for families in George, AKA's alleged killers, are back in the cells, and South Africa rallies behind Custer. Hello there, I'm Sifiso Zulu.
This is Eyewitness News.
Families of victims in the George building collapse continue to receive support. A group of Zimbabwean construction workers arrived at the crash scene from Mossel Bay to be by the side of a family of a fellow countryman trapped under the rubble. The victim, Peter Chitsika, was among 81 people on site when the 5-story apartment block crashed. Maxwell Kishito was among the several Zimbabwean construction workers who've traveled to the site.
Yeah, it's very bad. It's painful because remember, we work also in the stuff like this. So you may think it may happen to one of us or to me. On Monday, I'm sure he left. He said to his wife, I will be back. I'll see you later. But he couldn't make it.
Meanwhile, as far as the investigations go, the Western Cape government says it will take at least a year to wrap up its probe into the fatal collapse.
V3 Consulting Engineering did indicate that their preliminary timeline minimum will be 12 months. Given that they must wait for what's happening above ground to conclude, then there's still the geotech phase of the investigation. Obviously, at every stage of the rescue mission so far, they have taken samples of what they could, and obviously they get those results back. But that will all form part of the holistic report, which will serve, like I said, in a minimum of 12 months, when the report will hopefully be ready for us.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has finally located his pen and signed the controversial NHI bill into law. It's intended to give all South Africans free healthcare at the point of service, whether at a public or private facility.
It is a milestone in South Africa's ongoing quest for a much better, just society. This transformational healthcare initiative in many ways gives further impetus and effect to our constitutional commitment to progressively realize access to healthcare services for all its citizens by putting in place a system that ensures equal access to healthcare regardless of a person's social and economic standing and circumstances.
There have been some opposition to the bill.
We thought reason would prevail so that we can sit down around and improve the bill.
Everyone has equal access to quality health care on the basis of their healthcare needs and not how deep one's pocket is.
There may be a danger that we move from the frying pan straight to the fire in relation to the national health insurance bill.
The 5 men accused of killing rapper Keenan aka Forbes and celebrity chef Dibelo Tibbs Motwane have been denied bail. The group has been behind bars since they were arrested in February this year. AKA and Tibbs were shot and killed in Durban last year. The accused appeared in the Durban Magistrates Court.
It is for this reason that the decision whether or not bail should be granted is not based on the attitude of the investigating officer, but the nature and the strength of the evidence that is before court. Looking at the evidence that was presented before me, I note that there is a golden thread that runs through the evidence of Warrant Officer Pillay that connects and places all the applicants at more than one scene together except for applicant 3.
A Durban police officer was cross-examined in the Western Cape High Court today related to intimidation, kidnapping and extortion charges against alleged underworld kingpin Nafis Modak. Modak and his 14 co-accused face 124 charges related to various crimes, including the murder of top cop Charles Kinnear and the attempted murder of criminal defense attorney William Booth. The police officer says Modak asked him to help another state witness, Shanil Maharaj, to retrieve 2 million rand from an asset manager who can only be identified as Mr. C following a botched investment.
The court heard Modak's plan was to intimidate Mr. C by having him arrested, a job he wanted corrupt cop Calvin Shanmugan to do. A visibly excited Shanmugan explained how he came to know Modak, referring to him as the Robin Hood of Cape Town. He also referred to Modak as a small guy taking on giants, who was called Pablo by his henchmen. Shanmugan told the court he met Modak's alleged right-hand man, Anwar Gustavo Ghali, who put him in contact with Modak. He admits he orchestrated Mr. C's arrest in April 2020 on behalf of Modak, who says he phoned him directly to order the arrest. The trial continues. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Caster Semenya has received support here at home as she presented her arguments in the Grand Chamber of the European Court of Human Rights. The double Olympic champion was in France in a case against World Athletics regulations, requiring her to take medication to lower her testosterone levels. The department says a win for Semenya in court will reflect the principles of fairness, equality, and inclusion.
Caster Semenya's name was not amongst the 39 athletes named by SASCOC earlier today to represent South Africa at the Paris Olympics in July. She's in France for a different reason instead, where she's in a legal tussle to overturn the World Athletics rules which prevent her from competing due to her refusal to take hormone suppressants. SASCOC President Barry Hendricks hopes she succeeds after he says her best years were taken away from her.
We hope that she's going to win this case because we feel that she went through a process that really ruined her career, if one looks at it. She was at her height, and then because of these announcements, it really put a span in her development. And we've always been supporting Caster.
The court will begin its deliberations, which will be held in private after today's hearing. Its ruling in the matter will be made at a later stage. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News, Sport.
The department says a win for Semenya in court will reflect the principles of fairness, equality, and inclusion. Remember to follow us on our socials. You can also download the EWN app and the Prime Media Plus app. Thank you for watching.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.